Excited to see the turnout today at Breaking Barriers event. This is a Blush and Sparkle event. Blush is in Blush with Me Parmita, and Sparkle for my dear friend Marii from Swirl and Sparkle. I'm sure most of you have attended her events in the city. Phenomenal businesswoman, phenomenal events. So I'm very excited for the event today. Let me tell you the whole idea behind doing this event. I, as an influencer, when started out, had this whole struggle of how to work with brands. How does it actually work? And most of the brands who I interacted with had the same issue. They didn't know how to work with influencers, and especially the ones who did not have social media accounts and specialists who were looking after the brands. So I always had this concept of bringing brands and influencers together under one roof, get them connected, get them started working together, because as influencers, we all need brands to support our content. And this is a great opportunity for all of you to do the same, influencers and brands alike. And to discuss the same, I have these beautiful women here on our panel today. So we have Marii from Swirl and Sparkle, and we have Becky Feeley from Estee Lauder. Now these two are going to represent brands. Estee Lauder is a huge corporation, international brand, and Marii is a very successful entrepreneur. I would call her solopreneur because she started out small, and just by working with social media and social media influencers and providing amazing products, she has become extremely successful. And I think a lot of us belong to that category where we have our brands and we don't know how to grow on social media if we are not a huge brand like Estee Lauder. But then we also have Becky Feeley from Estee Lauder, who is going to talk about how to make these kind of brand deals happen on a bigger scale. She is the field executive for Estee Lauder, the lady behind creating brand awareness and events. So good person to keep in touch with. Look both of them up on Instagram. And then of course I have Denise. Denise, how do you say your whole name? I remember your Instagram. Kokinis. And Denise is probably, even she doesn't know this, but ever since I understood the term influencer, and I didn't know I was already an influencer, but once I understood what an influencer does, then she was probably one of the first 5 people I started following on Instagram, and I followed her closely. And she is such a huge inspiration to me and a lot of my followers, whom I always talk about her to. And I'm so happy that today she is here on the panel of Breaking Barriers event. The reason I say that is because she has a very, very focused platform, and she has grown working with some of the most incredible brands that you can think of. So if she is here, and an Oscar. Yeah, so she is here with us. I have a lot of questions to ask her too, so I'm sure you guys have a lot to ask her. She will be very helpful. Make use of this opportunity. I hope she is hydrated because she'll have a lot of questions to answer, I know today. And then you have me. I am Parmita from Blush with Me Parmita. I have a YouTube channel that I started 2 years ago. It started with more of a photography tips, but slowly I listened to my audience, and now in 2 years it has grown to over 650,000 followers, subscribers, and I am in a position to work with some amazing brands globally. And there are a lot of us here who have questions about YouTube and how to work with brands and how to work with brands globally that may not be local. So overall, all of us are very happy to help you out. If you have any questions, please start shooting after a couple of questions that I have on my list. So first I want to ask both to brands, to Becky and Marii, how do you both, because you're so different from one another, how should influencers reach out to you, and what are the different ways of collaborations that you think influencers can benefit from?
Okay. Thank you, Parmita. And hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today and to see all of your beautiful faces, and I think what an extraordinary group this is. And like Parmita said, my name is Becky. I work for Estee Lauder. The best way to reach out to me personally is through Instagram. So if everybody has their phones out, I will definitely follow you back and we can message one another. And my handle is, don't laugh, but EL for Estee Lauder. So EL, Becky with the good hair. And that is my Instagram handle. And a great way to collaborate with, I know for specifically Estee Lauder, and as you well know, Estee Lauder owns many brands. So Estee Lauder is the mothership of brands worldwide, such as MAC, Bobbi Brown, Too Faced, Origins, Aveda, and the brands just keep going on and on. And you know, a great way to collaborate is regionally, and I really think that regional relevance really makes actually a global impact when it's on the same wavelength and the same mission. So it really is all about the micro influencer right now. So not necessarily that one face. It's about what impact you have within the community and what your personal mission is. I think that's super important as an influencer, is what is your goal as an influencer in the beauty world. So what we've done in the past with influencers is that we've made basically an event surrounding an influencer or influencers. So, and from there, they've grown to visibility within our brand. I just had an influencer in the Latina community, and we had an empowerment event that was launched here in December, and then 2 months later, with my partners in New York, we flew out for the same exact event featuring the same influencer. So, and I know I see all these familiar faces, but it's pretty impactful on what you can do regionally. Don't think that anything is too small, because it can grow into something really big. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Marii, spelled with 2 I's but pronounced just like normal Mary. Thank you so much for being here. I know that a few of you have met me through events, but I also enjoy meeting new faces as well. So please stop by and say hi after the panel. So as a brand, I was an itty-bitty brand. Oh my gosh, I don't think I even had my friends following me when I first started. I wanted to be just like super lay low, didn't even put my face out there. I have this product, I just need volunteers to try this product. And this power of social media, my gosh, you put out one photo and you get all these messages back. So it was the perfect way for me to dig deep into what social media can do for a brand as well as for an influencer. For me personally, the best way to reach out is also via direct message. A tip, please do not start it with hey. Please do not make it sound like it's copied and pasted. Anything that is genuine, that sounds like it's from a real person that is writing to me, oh my gosh, I will like respond back right away. There's nothing more that makes me happier than like reacting to someone who genuinely wants to either work with me or let me know that they have seen me around and want to try my product. And that's the thing, like products you have to try. So I'm more than happy to share my product. And the other thing about it is, what's your intent? Are you reaching out to just get free product? Are you reaching out to genuinely share this product to everyone that you possibly can share it to because it's innovative, it's just whatever the reason being. Like again, having that genuine emotion that connects through as much as you can via a text or DM. Make that felt. I feel like that goes a really long way because we're humans. We like to have that connection. So pretty much how to best get into my heart.
just in case I forgot to mention, when she's saying product, she has this amazing makeup brush cleaner product called Swirl and Sparkle. And you will be getting those in your glam bags, and in case you run out of them, please look her up on Etsy to replenish your product, because you cannot live without those makeup brush cleaners. They're really, really good. So yes, my next question is for Denise. How do you decide how much should you be paid? And is it different with different brands? Yes, those are the questions, right? You want answers for?
Y'all were just like, we're just gonna skip through it.
Yes.
All right, so my name's Denise. My last name is Kokinis. People think my last name is Marii because that's my Instagram handle. I'm a fashion blogger. I don't really know. I call myself a lot of things now, but I started as a fashion blogger, and that's kind of what I rep pretty hard. I've been blogging for, I don't know, 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in like September, October, somewhere around there. A lot of people like have their blog anniversaries. I don't, because I really was just like screwing around when I first started blogging. I was like posting all types of things with like my iPhone 4. So the photos really like, please never go on my blog to like when I first started blogging, because Lord, like you're gonna be like, the same person? But anyway, so getting paid, right? So y'all are here because you're like, how do I get paid? I feel that, I wonder that a lot too, because I'm like, where are these paychecks coming from? So, 2-3 years ago, it was a little different. It was very structured of like, per every 10,000, you're charging a certain amount of money. So per every 10K followers, you were charging about $100. That was kind of the going rate. I would say in like the last year and a half, that's kind of shifted, and people are going based more on engagement. So for now, your follower count is important, but at the same time, you also want to base it off your engagement. So like if I'm sitting here with like 20,000 followers and Mary's sitting here with 30,000, but my engagement's better, I can actually technically charge more than Mary. So that's a really good place to start, and I know that's really hard because you're like, right, so like my engagement is this, what do I charge? So the best place to start is the $100 per 10,000 followers. But going off of that, if your engagement is higher, bump it up. So if you see somebody who's at 10K and their engagement's, whatever it is, and yours is better, charge more than you think you should. My best rule of thumb is what you think you should charge, add a little bit more. Because the thing is, you can always negotiate down with brands, but negotiating up is really hard to do. So when I decide what to charge, I actually add a little bit more than I would normally think to charge. And then they'll be like, oh, can we negotiate? And then they negotiate down, and they end up negotiating to my actual rate. And I'm like, see, look, I won, but y'all didn't know that, but I won. So, especially with like bigger brands, there's a lot of room for negotiation. Brands are gonna be like, we don't pay, push back. So like, you're gonna run into a lot of brands who are gonna be like, well, we wanna work with you one time, and then we're gonna pay you. No. Like, you need to push back. Like, push back, say, no, you're gonna pay me the first time. Because the thing is, what happens is you get into the cycle of a brand that tries to work with you for free the first time, and then they'll come back the second time and say, you know what, we still don't have a budget, but we wanna work with you one more time. And so it kind of becomes this repetitive cycle. So knowing your worth, and I know people say this a lot, but like knowing your worth and what you are doing is, can you still hear me? Okay, is super, super important. So if a brand's telling you want to work for free, if it's a big brand and you really, really like them and you support them and you already buy their stuff, then it's like, okay, maybe this will work for me. I already paid for their clothing, but now I can get it for free. That's great. Like, I'll work with them. Now I'm getting it for free. But then what happens is do that follow-up. So the follow-up is like, for me, the most important part. So now I'm done working with this brand and I say, cool, here's what happened. I got this many DMs of people saying they bought this product. I got this much engagement. I got this many link clicks. I got this many swipe ups. I got this many clicks on my blog. So for me, the best way to make money is the follow-up. So like, you don't want to just work with a brand one time. You want to work with them 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So as soon as you're done working with that brand, know every single thing you did for them. list it out, send it in an email, and say, I did this, 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 and this. I got this many link clicks, this many post clicks, this many swipe ups. Do that follow-up and send it to that brand and say, can we find a way to work together again? And sometimes it might not be right away, it might be the next season. Some brands go season to season, or a lot of brands go quarter to quarter, so like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So it might be 3 months from now, but you're working with them again. And so then all of a sudden your followers are seeing you consistently work with somebody, and it's also a good look for you too. Does that make sense? Did that kind of answer it?
Yeah.
I mean, we can do a little bit more, but you know.
Thank you, Denise. So here is my input as a YouTuber. We both have kind of very different platforms, so it's actually good that she's sharing her side of her struggles that she went through and how she makes it happen. And I, on YouTube, work very differently. And one thing that's common is, I think I remember last time I was listening to her at one of the events, and she said she didn't even know, I think, till you reach like 25K, you didn't know you should be charging for. I know. So same thing went with me, even on YouTube, till I was close to even 200K, I did not know how to make brand deals, how should I actually be paid. Even if somebody sent me free products, I was super excited. But and then I did the math when someone said, hey, we want to pay you some small amount, and then I was like, wait, I have to work for a couple of days on script, then I have to pay my videographer, editor, post-production. I have to buy, if I'm using your lipstick, I need to get outfits that will match, or jewelry or whatever. So there's a lot of investment that goes into it. Even back in the day when I used to model, I got paid way more for just modeling, and now I'm doing everything for you and PR and giving it out to hundreds and thousands of your target audience. I deserve to be paid a lot more. And first time I had the courage to just like, let's see, if I lose this deal, I lose this deal, but let's put it out there. I did not know what math to do, what calculation to do, how much to charge. I just based it on the amount of work I was putting out there. And the first time I put it, and the other brand just bargained a little bit, and they were completely okay with it. I was like, but can you please give me testimonials and report back from what happens? I want to know what I'm actually able to do for you. And within an hour, she called me back. She was from Spain, a small designer who made silk scarves, and she called me back in an hour, said, I have been paying Google AdWords $150 a week for the last year, and I did not get one sale from there. And from this, I had 5 sales in the first 1 hour, 92 website clicks, personalized card gift orders for Christmas. So I'm like, so I know what I'm charging is the right amount, and I can keep growing. And then I did, of course, some research, and now you have facilities like Social Blue Book. You enter, they have all your algorithms, they know your demographics, and they will give you exactly how much you should be charging. And like Denise said, mark it up a little bit more, but depending on brands, like if there's a brand that needs you to work very hard for, like try our product for 7 days and report, you're working for 7 days for that brand, and you cannot work with any other brands on the same line. So you of course charge them a little bit more, but yes, so that is how I work on YouTube. But yes, next question for brands. If anyone has to reach out to Estee Lauder or a brand like that, who are the right people for them to reach out to?
Can I answer that too?
Sure. Yes.
Did you want to go first?
No, go ahead, you got
Okay.
it. You sound nicer. Like a little too aggressive. Oh, my role.
No, you know, aggressive works. It does. So when it comes to, it depends on what exactly your end goal is. Okay, so if you are looking to just, you know, to start out and build your Instagram page, build your followers, build your relevance, then absolutely start at a local level. So this is where you build your brand, basically. And so if you wanted to reach out to, say, Estee Lauder in Chicago, then I would be that person. So that would be great. And then what we would do from there is build an event and strategize exactly what your end goal is, and what we could do for one another. But at the same time, if you're looking at something like on a larger global scale, then you would still actually reach out to me. And what you can do from there is I can pass on your information to the most relevant people. So if that helps.
So I want to take this to a place of like, I have stalked brands to find their information. I'm like dead serious. I literally stalk brands when I really want to work with them. And especially at the beginning, 2-3 years ago when people weren't as heavy on Instagram. So Instagram is great, but from a point of view of a blogger, you need to email brands. This is just my point of view, and this is going to be obviously different than both of them. Especially these bigger brands, sometimes local works. Like Becky's great, and I've actually worked with Becky, and I've been to some of her stuff. But sometimes local's great, but a lot of times local can't do anything for you. And not necessarily for beauty, but like for clothing brands, bigger brands, a lot of times local can't do anything for you. So when you go onto websites and you want to work with a brand, the best place to start is that contact us page. That's the best place to start. Look for somebody to contact. A lot of times brands have a PR brand. So if you can't find it on their website, LinkedIn. I know this sounds crazy, but like I find about 75% of the contacts I need through LinkedIn. So I go to LinkedIn, I look up the brand, I look up the people working for the brand, I find the PR or marketing person, and then I'm like, okay, these are the people I need to email. And so then I email somebody via LinkedIn. I've done it actually on Facebook too. I've like found PR people. I know that sounds really crazy, but that's actually how I've found people too. But a lot of like huge brands are not going to respond to their DMs. So like if we're talking like an ASOS or a Boohoo or anything like that, they're not going to see your DM. And like I hate to say it that way, but they're not. So it's like, how do I find somebody who works for them that I can contact? And like honestly, if you really want to work with this brand, do your due diligence. Like go through LinkedIn, go through Facebook, go through their website. Sometimes that contact us form will be like a general thing. And so in the subject place, you can say like collaboration or working together, and then they'll pass you on to their marketing team or their PR team. And then a lot of times what happens is that PR team doesn't answer you because it may be filtered, they may not see it. So my best thing to do is when you get passed on, the email will be there, email that person again. So like after you've been passed on, email them again. Like be persistent. I know that sounds really crazy, but these brands are getting so many emails and so many DMs and so many things from so many people now that if you're not doing your due diligence and following up, then that's your fault. Because now like one email doesn't suffice. And I know that sounds really crazy, but 2-3 years ago, one email was cool, but now they're getting 30, 40 emails an hour sometimes. So if you're not following up, you're probably not going to work with them. And I hate to say it that way, but I will email brands 3, 4, 5 times before I even get an answer. Or even if I'm working on a project, my PR person doesn't respond to me, I'm like, hey, I know you saw this email, so I'm going to try this one more time. So just do your due diligence and follow up and be persistent. I know you're probably going to think that you're wow, I'm really annoying this person. You're not. Because then they're going to be like, you know what? She's really persistent. She really wants to work with us. Cool.
Oh, mine's easy. Just me. No, for the benefit of some of the brands, how do you think those brands should approach this?
Wait, I'm so sorry.
For the brands, for smaller brands, like upcoming brands, what do you have suggestions? What do you think they should do to work with influencers? How should they respond or reach out, or what is the best way to?
I mean, you work with a lot of venues and companies and stuff. I feel like you could even speak to that. Because you do your due diligence too about reaching out to these people.
I do. And getting no response is not always a bad thing. It just might be you had a lot of emails and you just didn't get a chance. So yes, definitely reaching out more than once, 2 times, 3 times. It'll make you stand out. It's hard to ignore. And you don't want to be ignored. You're making a point to be rise above the others. The others will probably give up after 1 email. So guess what? If you're the 2nd one or the 3rd one or the 4th one or the 5th one, do it. What does it doesn't cost you anything, right? Just a little bit of time. But the effort that you're making speaks volumes. So I've done it. The first time it sucks. You're like, they don't like me. But yeah, no, it does have a very valuable connotation to it. Like, oh, Denise, your time today. Okay, I will get this out of the way. And whether it be a no or a yes, at least it's a response, right?
And also, sorry to add to that, I don't really know what it's called, but buy a subscription service. It's like $20 a year. You can Google it. Buy a subscription service for your email where it shows you if people read your email. So when you're emailing these brands and you see that they read it, you're like, oh, okay, I know you read this. So when you follow up with that second email, you're going to word it a little bit differently. Like, hi, I know you're really busy, but. So, like, it's really not expensive. Buy the subscription service. You can attach it to your Gmail. And if you have multiple Gmail accounts like I do, you can actually pay and attach it to all of them. It's super easy. It's literally like $20 a year. And it tells you if they read your email, and it tells you even like the time that they read your email. So like, if you happen to see like this brand read my email 4 minutes after I sent it, they probably didn't read it. They probably opened it and they're like, okay, move on. And so that's a good way to gauge too, is like, did they read it right away? Did they take time to read it? Or were they just kind of clicking through their inbox? So that's another good tool to have, is like to see, did this brand read it? Because if you're setting up a follow-up email and they haven't read the first one, you're gonna word it a little differently than if you know if they read it or not.
So I do it, I of course follow a lot of these tips too, but when I'm working on YouTube and I'm trying to have these brand deals, now I realize it's not just YouTube, I also have Instagram, so I can give them a double benefit from one brand deal. So now I can work with them and say, hey, I charge this much for YouTube, and I can also do this for you on Instagram. But making brand deals on both these levels are completely different. If I'm doing something on YouTube, it could be my need. Like say if I'm making a content on what to take on vacation, and I'm planning to work for summer, and it is my need. I want outfits for something like that. I need accessories for it. I need to reach out to brands. So I am okay at that point of time compromising on some of the prices, because for me the need is to put out a great video out there. But on Instagram, it is the brand who's getting complete footage. It's not about my whole video that's going on YouTube. So I make my full money on Instagram, and when the same brands want to work with me on YouTube, when they reach out to me, then I make the full money. So there are different ways of getting these deals done, but I always see what I'm offering the brand as well. When I started out, I had no idea how to do this. I kid you not, I literally walked in, when I decided to do this, I started walking into every store, introducing myself, giving them my card and saying, I want to work with you. I have this content coming up. Would you be interested in giving me some of your outfits? And this is how much I charge, but if not, what is the best way we can work together? And if they had good following on their pages, I'm like, okay, if you can't pay me, I at least want my post to be reposted so that I get more followers. And that is another way to get more followers. I started following people like Denise, and then I look up, I closely follow what are the brands they're following, then go look up and see, are they working with someone who still has 10, 20,000 followers? If yes, then yes, reach out to the brands, because use the right kind of hashtags. If you use hashtags which are like 5 million plus views, then you're not gonna get anywhere. Use the smaller ones. There's so many smaller things that you can do to fine-tune your reach and how you could benefit the brand. I mean, ultimately the brand has to benefit from this whole thing. So yes, these are some of the ways all of us work with brands. If there are any questions you have, if there's any special input, Denise, you want to share before they have more questions.
Going off the hashtag things, I actually learned this at another panel I spoke on really recently, and it's a really good idea. It's called the 10-10-10 rule. So you can put 30 hashtags per Instagram photo, and actually a PR person taught me this, and I was like, oh wow, this is so smart. I don't do it because I'm really lazy, but it's actually a really good thing, and I do it for some of my clients. It's called the 10-10-10 rule. So 10 of your hashtags should be huge hashtags, meaning like those like fashion, blogger, outfit of the day. 10 should be a middle ground, meaning somewhere under 100,000 posts about it, and then 10 should be really small niche hashtags, meaning like hashtags that you would use for your niche. And so that's the 10, 10, 10. So now like you're getting kind of seen by people across the board, like the middle ground, the high ground, the low ground. And again, I'm really struggling on this because I'm just like, I just copy and paste my hashtags and like call it a day. But it actually is a really good rule of thumb, and if you're starting out, it's a really good place to kind of start from with hashtags, is like that 10, 10, 10, do your research and see like which hashtags are performing well. And even honestly, like go to other bloggers' pages and see what hashtags they're using. Like go to their page and see, okay, they're using this hashtag, maybe I need to try this one now, and see how it works for you. But yeah, I mean, I still do that. I still go to other bloggers' pages and I'm like, oh, she got invited to this event and I didn't. What hashtag was she using? No, I'm so serious. I really do that. So that's like a really good rule of thumb too. Is like just go to somebody else's page and see like, oh, I like them. What hashtags are they using? But also be realistic. Like, don't go to somebody with like 650,000 followers and be like, oh, their hashtags are working. They're gonna work for me. No. So like go to somebody who you know is like a realistic number and you're like, okay, cool, they're using hashtags. Maybe if I use them, it'll help me a little bit more.
I have one more question, Denise. You can hold this. A lot of brands reach out to influencers asking them to work free of cost or just for products. What's your opinion on that?
So I am kind of the minority on this opinion, but you can work for free. I am not saying all the time, 100% no, because you also need to get paid. But no matter what size you're at, you're not too good to work for free. And I like need you to truly understand that. And I have to humble myself sometimes too. But like you are not too good, you are not too big, you are not too special to essentially work for free every once in a while. Because here's the thing, you're at the end of the day, if it's like, you know, a $25 t-shirt, like I get it. But if a brand's sending you 5, 6 outfits and the outfits are worth $1,000, like, come on. And I mean, I hate to say it this way, but like, you're literally not too good to work for free sometimes. Like, you're getting something that somebody else isn't getting. Your friends that are, you know, going to these events with you or supporting you are not getting these free clothes, or they're not getting these free things. So you have to put in the work before you're gonna get paid. And I think this influencer market is kind of coming to this point where everybody thinks that they're owed money and everybody thinks that they need to get paid all the time. And that's just not the way it works. Like you need to do your due diligence. You need to work with brands for free occasionally. You need to build up your platform. You need to understand what it's like to work with a brand. Because if you take a paid gig before you take something for free, it's gonna be a totally different ballgame for you going forward, like trying to figure out how to work with them paid. So like take something for free, figure out those photo shoots, figure out those videos, figure out how you work out the stories. Figure out, am I gonna pay a photographer or am I gonna have my other blogger friend shoot me and now I'm not paying anything out of pocket but I still got those free clothes and then I can wear them somewhere. So I believe that sometimes you should take things for free, especially if it's a brand that you're like, I really like this brand and they're gonna do something good.